Hi, my name is Vahan Davudyan. I'm a physics experimentalist for 30 years. In these last 30 years, I have conducted so many experiments from the scientists, and some of them I didn't have the tools, and some of them was beyond my expertise. But overall, I would say I have almost replicated 80% of those experiments. And these are unique experiments you will never see in any books because you can see this last sixth one is about the plants, it's about the nature, animals and insects. But before this I had general relativity, and there were 12 or 14 theories that was for the laws of physics. But first of all, I'd like to thank YouTube for providing this fantastic comprehensive service for us, so we can upload, we can post our videos there so people can watch and learn. And I think they do a phenomenal job, and I really appreciate that, because this organization is so good. They do a comprehensive job, and it's incredible what they do. And how do they know who I am? How do I know who they are? Unless we upload our movies, upload our science theories here so people can watch. And that is like a huge university. What the YouTube does is an amazing job. It's a huge university, and everybody learns, and I appreciate that. And as a matter of fact, I compared YouTube to synapses. Synapses are junctions in a human's brain, and billions of neurons are connected, and all the functions, like charges and everything else go through them, and they're like a huge network. It's like an internet. So those synapses are connecting everyone together. So that's exactly what does the YouTube, because in fact when I started my theories in year 2000, and then at that time there was no YouTube anyway. YouTube came 5 years later, and then I remember YouTube does a good job. I uploaded my theories like 3 months ago almost, and 4,000 people watched. When I asked someone, he said, that's incredible, 4,000 people watched, it means they love it. And some people even, they sent me an email, they loved it. But I told them, anytime you have any question, I'd be happy to answer. Even if it's beyond my expertise, I'm a good researcher. I can go ahead and find out for you no matter what. Anyway, this is the way Synapse does, or YouTube does, and I appreciate that. And I think this is the way YouTube, like I said a few minutes ago, YouTube is like a huge university, nationwide I would say. What they do is promoting science. How could you promote the science if you don't upload your movie? I can see some ordinary people, they have some product, they have some other things, they upload their videos. That is amazing. So imagine, it's an opportunity for everyone to give it a shot. Like me, it was so good for me, and this last few days I had 6 theories, and I have one more, it's for the plants. And these last 6 ones, they were all about the insects, and like I said, birds. And my first one was the airplane, or aircraft aerodynamic compared with the geese, because I used to live in Westminster, and it was amazing life. And then I compared, and then I just did that theory already. So today we are talking about snakes, earthworms, and eel. Well, of course there is another one, which is dolphin and bat, and then I decided to do only one theory for both of them, and my main objective was how much they have in common. But I will explain exactly why. Laws of physics are amazing. Sound cannot travel in space. It doesn't matter. But electromagnetic can. And guess what? They have so many things in common. they can diffract, they can refract, they can reflect, they can interfere. I mean, 4 things in common. But the only thing I said is that thing is, sound wave cannot travel. Anyway, this is my theory today. Snakes and earthworms locomotion compared with sound and electromagnetic wave, which is of course the light, by Vahan Davudyan, physics experimentalist, and this is my email, vahandavudyan@aol.com. I compared sound wave longitudinal to movement of locomotion of the earthworm. Always, because I've been experimentalist 30 years, always I like to demonstrate things, because I think this is the way the student learns. See, this is the way the earthworm moves. See, this part is getting smaller and that moves. So in other words, the locomotion is so unique, it's not like a snake. So I compared this to the sound wave. So as you can see, I will explain it later. In sound, it's longitudinal, it's going back and forth, and this congested area is called refraction. It's called compression. One is called rarefaction. And then I will explain exactly how they work. And of course I have a small poster here, you can see. See? Rarefaction, and then it's going to compression. And it's exactly like a slinky. Let me see. I think I have a slinky here, but I show you. So what I did, I overlapped, my sound wave with this, and then they match perfectly. So rarefaction and the compression is exactly the way it is. So let me see, I think I have a slinky here. I'll show you. See this slinky? It's an amazing device. This part is rarefaction, and this part is the rarefaction, this part is compression. And as a matter of fact, I used this in Regis University 15 years ago to show the Doppler effect, and they loved that idea. So what I did, I had a little car here, I attached a car here, so the car was moving this way, so it was getting squished this way, and then, they're getting compression, and then they're getting stretch, and they love. It was easy, so they did understand exactly what I mean by Doppler effect. Well, like I said, this also can be used for that purpose. Anyway, let me see what I have here. Okay. The earthworm is a limbless with hydrostatic skeleton. It means that they are almost like springs, moves rapidly, radially constricting the portion of its body, resulting in an increase in length via hydrostatic pressure or radially symmetrical contraction and relaxation of muscles. I compared a snake's locomotion to the transverse wave. So when the snake moves, you can see, you can compare to electromagnetic wave, but not this part, because see, electromagnetic wave starts from radio wave all the way, goes to X-ray, and then goes to gamma rays. See how small they are? So a snake is doing exactly the same thing, and this amazing remote. So let's see what else. Okay, with electromagnetic wave, the snake body is made up of ribs connected to the backbone and have a great deal of flexibility. And imagine, their body isn't like it's not like our body. Their bones is so different. So its flexibility is exactly like the snake I show you. So the body of a snake alternates, flexes like a spring to the left and to the right, so resulting in series of motion. Snakes have very poor eyesight, and I don't know, is God the greatest physicist or what? They don't see, but at the same time they have infrared. I have seen they can catch birds, they can catch everything, because their eyesight is extremely poor, but that heat is radiated and they can catch everything. In fact, I remember I used to live in LA a long time ago, that was 30 years ago, and then there was a case, there was a serial killer, he was on the loose, and then the radio was doing this, and then they were reporting TV and everything else. There were almost like 4 helicopters above, and that criminal was so smart, he was hiding in a, somewhere that there was no way they could detect him. It was a lot of trees. It's almost like, a dense place. So what they did, they used this snake idea or the infrared. And then I was watching the TV, I said, thank you, snake. You saved our life. And finally, after 1 hour, the hit body was showing that criminal was caught in Van Nuys, California. So they got arrested him. And this one is my favorite, and probably this is the most unique snakes in the world. I mean, it's like a battery in her body which can produce 600 volts. And I remember many years ago I saw that they were, checking everything else, and this doctor dissected everything. I saw exactly like batteries, They were like, one housing here, one there, one there. They were all connected. And this amazing animal can discharge almost as much as 500 volts DC. Sometimes it's killing the prey, sometimes it's stunning, it doesn't matter. So when I compare with my knowledge, I said, well, this eel is acting exactly like we act with criminals. If somebody is unruly and they don't want to be arrested and they're posing a threat to the public, so what they do, cops are using taser. Well, of course, taser is not going to kill them, but at least, they stun them for a while, for a few minutes, so they can apprehend him and then put him away. So this is the way the eel does. And then I have seen some scientists, I think it took maybe months, so they exactly measure the voltage, because that is unbelievable. How discharge is so fast is beyond your imagination. This voltage is killer, I tell you. It's so bad. So sometimes it can paralyze, sometimes it can stun people, and overall this taser, I said there are 2 tasers, some of them are so smart, and overall taser means high voltage. What I mean, you can bring the thunder and make it billions or million times smaller. That is called eel. That is called taser. So I remember one time, many years ago, one man was out and then he was electrocuted and killed instantly. He just burned to the ground because of the connection of the lightning rod. And well, of course, that is so bad because it was a bad luck. We're talking about millions of volts. But I compare eel to a small, lightning bolt, because that discharge is exactly the same. When she's discharging that 500 volts, that prey is dead or stunned, then she go ahead and take care of it. This one is almost related, and this is called echolocation, which is my favorite. Let me explain why. Imagine, when I see airplanes, because when I was so young, my best hobby was aerodynamic, and I loved the aerodynamic and airplanes and everything else. And when I started physics in 1992, I remember I got so many books in physics, and then I realized I saw some, documentaries in History Channel, and these old days, most pilots were flying low in the river, so they could not be detected. I'm talking about 50 years ago, 55 years ago, but nowadays that thing is a history, because the technology is so advanced. There's some airplanes, but I don't want to mention those. some airplanes in air, not only they're blend with the sky, but also they cannot be detected. If the electromagnetic goes here, it reflects back, so they have no idea. The radar won't be able to find out exactly where this Southwest airplane is because of the technology. Anyway, bat and dolphin. Bat and whale echolocation and the radar compared to radar electromagnetic use the same principle. And imagine, radar is amazing idea. It's meant radio detection and ranging. So they send signals here, it comes back, it goes back, it tells you, yeah, you are 26 kilometers away from your airport. And the ranging and detecting is so important. Well, of course, there is one thing, because we cannot beat the nature. This bat is amazing animal, probably the smartest. When I was a kid, I remember the way they move is beyond my imagination, how good they move. And they always come at night. And then I remember one time they went to a cave somewhere like that. They were moving so fast, and I did not even see one bat collide with the other, because their navigation is unbelievable. It's so good. I mean, this is amazing animal. No one can detect everything like that. But there's another little guy that beat her. Her name is Moth. Moth is so small, but nobody knows what happened. Moth is so small, so what happened, this bat is sending the signals high frequency, and exactly like an airplane radar, it bounces back or rebounds, and then she can figure it out exactly how far that moth is. But now, during the evolution, and even the scientists don't know about this, during the evolution, moth can interfere with these dogs. She is sending her own signal, so confusing bat. Poor bat has no idea where what is, but not always. Once in a while it works, and once in a while it doesn't work. So bat emits high frequency sound that rebounds back, and this ear enabling to detect objects as fine as a human hair. Total darkness in bat is such an adept hunter that can make catch up to 600 moths. Some moths have evolved ability to detect. Dolphin is the same way. But dolphin is amazingly smart, because when I compared the speed of sound in water compared to the air, you see almost like 5 times, I think 5 times, no, 4 times, I'm sorry. It's 4 times more. And imagine, in air, the sound will travel, well, it depends on how hot or cold the air is. The sound will travel almost 340 meters per second, but in water, it travels 1,490 meters. Isn't that amazing? So, she is taking care of that. She knows exactly where the fish are, because the sound, imagine 4 times, makes a big difference. But overall, it's extremely smart animal. And this, sonar system or sun navigation is helping. But you can see all these, they have one thing in common. All they have one thing in common. It's always the reflection or rebounding. If you don't have a radar, how do you know that somebody is traveling like 120 kilometers or 120 miles? So it's exactly rebounding from the car, and then it calculates. So overall, what I mean by this, that the nature has provided all these things, like electromagnetic wave, and then like a bat and moth, and then fish and dolphin, and then eel, eat fish, and then the other earthworms and the other. But they are everywhere. I mean, we do have these things in nature, but why for the humans takes so many years to study these things and then find out exactly how they work or how they evolve and how they catch their prey. And somehow I would say that animals are smarter than humans. They can catch the prey, but humans are smart. We can shoot a prey, or we can kill a prey, but they're good anyway. So, like I said, I have done so many experiments, and then these last 6 ones are about insects, animals, and the plants. And then there are some physicists, I like to mention their name, because I watched YouTube all my life. Sometimes I watch YouTube 3-4 hours a day, because now I'm retired. I do a lot of research in physics, in chemistry, in biology, and so on and so. And YouTube is my favorite because I can find everything in YouTube. There are some professors, that I like to thank and I like to mention. He's been around so many years. I love him. His name is Dr. Michio Kaku, and he published so many books, which I read all of them. He's got imagination beyond my comprehension. His imagination goes 100 years, and how could he do it? I don't know. Dr. Michio Kaku, and then he has book Are We Alone, or Teleportation, and things like that. And there's some other scientist. Her name is Physics Girl, Miss Diana Cowan. Oh, she's beyond my imagination. She is so good. Her explanation is concise, coherent, and logical. There's another one called Dr. Nick Lucid. He's also good. He explains everything to the best of his ability, to the best of his knowledge. There's another physicist called Dr. Derek Miller. He's also good. He does unique experiment like me. I like that. And there's another professor. His name is Arvin Ash. He is good also. And also I know his name is Dave, but he calls him Professor Dave. And he is good because I learned a lot from him. The way he is explaining laws of thermodynamics, that was amazing. And then he did not miss anything. He just explained everything so good. And he's not using a lot of formulas. But overall, he's a good physicist. And at the same time, I like to thank NASA, because I won't be able to name all of them because of the short time we have. There are so many, and the universe especially, their explanation is so good, so comprehensive. I have never seen any mistake in their speeches. They are so good, their lectures are good, and then I learned a lot. And it looks like if one night I don't watch them, I won't be able to sleep, because that is my daily food. So I just want to thank everyone. If you have any question, call me or email me, vahandavudyan@aol.com. I'll be happy to help you guys. And then thank you for watching.